Why would someone who has everything going for them throw it all away like that? I think the answer to that is pretty obvious. Lust. The answer is lust. He was a pedophile, and you know those things can't control themselves. That simple, huh? You don't think there's anything more to it? Well, there's that, but there's also the art he creates. What do you mean? David is one of those, how do you describe it? Discord rat, internet creep, gore lover. I think you're looking for a freak with internet access? Yeah, basically. So, what exactly happened? So, if you've been living under a rock for the past couple of months, I'm going to give you a really quick overview of the case, and then we're going to get into the creepy, weird shit that David was doing on Discord, because that's what I really kind of want to focus on in this video. So, if you're looking for something more in-depth in terms of the timeline, this isn't that video. There's plenty of videos out there that already do that, so I'm going to try and focus on something different, which is David and his weird Discord stuff. So here's the basic timeline if you have no idea anything about this case. January 2022, Celeste and David first meet when Celeste is only 11 years old. November 2023, David and Celeste allegedly begin a sexual relationship when she is 13 years old and David is 18. April 2024, Celeste is reported missing again by her family. September 7th, 2024, Celeste turns 14 years old. March 2025, prosecutors say a text sent from Celeste to David says, "All we do is have sex and just hang out, man. I want more than that for myself." April 22nd, 2025, David and Celeste reportedly get into a lengthy argument in which Celeste threatens to disclose information about their relationship to the public. April 23rd, 2025, so the next day, Celeste was last known to be alive when she arrived at David's rented home in the Hollywood Hills. David allegedly sent an Uber to pick up Celeste from her Lake Elsinore home and bring her to his house at around 8:40 p.m. David reportedly texts her and asks where she is at 10:30 p.m., but prosecutors believe that she was already dead by this time, and the texts were part of a premeditated plan to cover up the murder. Prosecutors allege that shortly after she arrived, David stabbed Celeste multiple times and watched her bleed to death. David then leaves his home at around 11:30 p.m. and drives to an area near Lake Cachuma in Santa Barbara County, all while still texting and calling Celeste's phone, prosecutors say. May 1st, 2025, prosecutors say David orders 2 chainsaws on Amazon that are delivered to his Hollywood Hills home. He allegedly made the purchase using a fake name. May 5th, 2025, David orders a body bag, heavy-duty laundry bags, and a blue inflatable pool on Amazon. According to court documents, he reportedly uses the same fake name. Prosecutors believe that Celeste's body was mutilated on May 5th, her remains were dismembered, and 2 of her fingers were never recovered, including one that prosecutors alleged was tattooed with David's name. July 29th, 2025, David allegedly parks his Tesla on the Hollywood Hills street where it was later towed from. Prosecutors allege that he was the last person seen driving it, and surveillance video shows him driving the Tesla on this date. April 16th, 2026, they arrest David. Now let's talk about Discord. We have a problem with young men on the internet. A lot of them are becoming completely desensitized to violence through platforms like Reddit and especially Discord. We have seen time and time again these platforms allowing for young people to stumble across or be shown gore videos, red pill content, hate speech, etc. Like it's normal. A lot of young men are feeling like the world isn't real and that these people aren't real because there's been this disconnect between them and the world through screens. I don't want to sit here and yap your ear off about how young people shouldn't be on the internet and we need to ban social media, because at the end of the day, it really comes down to how you're raised and what you're allowed to be exposed to. And the apps clearly don't care enough to do anything on their end. David, like many young men, came across content he never should have been able to see, became desensitized to it, and then, the most important part, went and started to seek said content out. In my many years on the internet, I too have come across gore content, things like that. And I have to say, I've never really gotten used to seeing that sort of thing, and certainly never sought it out for fun. When I saw those kinds of things on Reddit, it always disturbed me, and I couldn't look at it for all that long. What I'm trying to say is that you have to watch a lot of gore content, and I mean a lot, to desensitize yourself to the point where you seek it out for fun and feel nothing when you look at it. Most people would find even one image like that disturbing, let alone seek it out on a regular basis. This is not normal. Take, for instance, the Diane Schuler case, the drunk driving case. There's, at the end of the documentary, There's Something Wrong with Aunt Diane, they show pictures of Diane's dead body on the side of the road. Or, yeah, like in the grass on the side of the road. And when I tell you, when I was doing my research for that case and I watched the documentary and I saw those images, it haunted me for days. Like, it stayed with me and haunted me for days. I could not close my eyes without seeing Diane's face. And so the idea that there are people out there, that young men out there who go and seek this kind of content out for fun and have desensitized themselves to the point where they genuinely truly believe that what they're viewing is just normal and another funny little thing on the internet, that's insane to me. And I have to say, this content really should not be normalized, because we get people like David, or people like that one weird sex trafficking cult thing that was happening. I forgot what they're called, the 747 or whatever the heck that weird Discord thing was, where they were essentially, young people were essentially torturing and having, you know, other young people send them videos, like just really explicit stuff. And all through Discord as a fucking platform, because of course, like, this kind of stuff really should not be normalized, because we get things like this. We get people like this. I think there were two main things that created David. One, he was born wrong, and two, the violent things he heard about and witnessed on the internet. Diving deeper into number one, when I say he was born wrong, I mean he was born a fucking pedophile, okay? Pedophiles aren't made, they're born, and no, there are both genetic and environmental factors that can lead to someone being like that. While a person can't control how they're born, they can absolutely control their actions, which David did not do. Just because you're born a special kind of fucked up, or you had experiences that shaped you into a fucked up human being, doesn't mean you can't control your actions. People like this are fully in control of their actions and what they do, and they make the choice to harm kids. That shit is inexcusable. Not to mention the 40 terabytes of God knows what they found on this man's devices. No, he needs to be called what he is. A freak who likes little kids. A fucking pedophile. No censoring on this channel, bro. Side rant. I really hate that there's this new, like, censorship on YouTube, on TikTok, on all of these, like, across social media platforms where people feel like they can't say the words. Like, we're saying PDF file, we're saying grape, we're saying freaking unaliving. Just say the words. Hey, I'm not being sponsored by anyone yet, so maybe I'll change my tune if I ever make money from this channel, but say the words. David was a fucking pedophile. Or is. I forgot. Sorry, he's still alive. Whoops. Anyway, diving deeper into number two, I think David fell into what a lot of young men on the internet fall into when they live their lives on platforms like Discord and Reddit, and all they're seeing is violent content that's being normalized. People around them acting as though seeing this kind of stuff is normal. Young men consuming violent content, and honestly anyone consuming violent content, is at risk for being desensitized to violence. When that sort of thing is shown to be normal, it really fucks up your worldview, because harmful acts aren't the trauma they cause or the people they hurt. Harmful acts are just another adrenaline rush, another clip. I think that clip of David talking about how he would let people vent to him and how he'd listen to their problems was him admitting that he likes to hear people's trauma, and not in the way that you or I would want someone to talk to us about their problems. No. I think it was trauma porn for him. I think he enjoyed listening to people talk about their traumatic backstories and things that they've been through. I think he got off on hearing about people's depressing and traumatic life stories. And that very well could have been the start of how he and Celeste first bonded, through her being vulnerable about her life and her pain, and David just sucking it all in and using it to get close to her. I want to make it clear to you guys that when you're going through some shit, it is easy for people to say, "I'm so sorry that happened to you," or "if you need me, I'm always here." That's the easiest line for that person to say. Not to mention, to talk about your problems is to be vulnerable. And being vulnerable can be a wonderful thing as long as you're doing it with the right person. And unfortunately for Celeste, David was not the right person. All this to say, I hope David gets life in prison, because a sick freak like David would view his death as some poetic end to a disturbed life. I think if we killed that man, he would die thinking, and this is how my story ends, or some dumb shit like that. Instead, I need him to rot in a cell for the rest of his hopefully very long, sufferous life. I need him to go crazy over everything he threw away for sexual gratification and weird fantasies that he had. I need him to get the Chris Watts treatment, just sitting in an 8x8 cell with nothing to do but think about his failure as a human being. I hope he rots. I know this was a really short video, but I just kind of wanted to touch on something that I feel as though we as internet users are just like kind of letting kind of slide under the radar, if you will. I have heard way too many like stories and cases of people being groomed, people being, shown things that they shouldn't have seen through platforms like Discord, like Reddit, okay? It's so quick and so easy to fall into these rabbit holes, and clearly we need to do something about it, because people, young men, are being desensitized to violence through these platforms. And not only just violence, but obviously the whole red pill content, how quickly and easily a lot of young men are falling into to red pill content and falling into these harmful rhetorics. We need to do something. I'm scared. I don't know if y'all are scared. I'm scared because there's a whole generation of boys out there who feel like the world is a game and everyone is to be played with, okay? And that's scary. Okay, that is terrifying to me. So, all this to say, I know this was a short video, but I might make more videos about David. I mean, as more stuff comes out throughout the trial. I'm super interested to see, what all comes out during the trial. And I hope he gets life. I'm on team life only because I feel like he would revel in his death, and it would be some kind of artistic end for him. And I really want that to not be the case. I need him to grow old in a cell and think about everything he gave up. You could have been the next big thing, dude. But instead, you let your pedophilic urges and your desensitized to violence brain get the better of you and threw it all away. Just for what? Literally for what? My heart goes out to Celeste's family, and I hope they get justice, truly. Whether that for them is David being killed or whether it's him getting life in prison, whichever one, because this man's not getting out. When the FBI says they have you, they have you. And I know they got that man's ass. So, that's all. See you guys in the next one.